What's up, y'all? Big Daniel bringing you another episode of Import Life Media. And this one is pretty self-explanatory with so much confusion and opinions. So, you see the title. Street racers and drag racers will never get along. The people that race on the track compared to the people that like to take their cars and race on the street. Not only what the difference is, but maybe why they don't respect each other, or even while it is respected. So we're gonna talk about the police, the money, the cars, the rules, the danger, all that. Without further ado, let's get into it.
Yo! Man, these cars are crazy. Did you see that?
All right, when it comes to fast cars, when it comes to watching something, when it comes to being a part of a race, everybody has their preference. A lot of times as a person that's spectating, you like to see exciting stuff no matter where it is. But when it comes to actually racing your car, having your vehicle on some type of asphalt, pavement, concrete, whatever it may be, everybody does have their preference of what they like to do. So let's get into why street racers and drag racers will never get along. Let's just start off with this, bare minimum, the surface, okay? A lot of drag racers might be like, look, why don't these people that are out there committing crimes, putting other people in danger, why don't they just bring their cars to the track to where they can race legally? And there's no issues and no problems and everything like that because it's safer. Now, let's go to the safety, okay? Just with the safety and with the surface of what they're gonna be racing on, most of the tracks are prepped. So what does that mean? Prep tracks means if you ever watch anybody race, you rarely see anybody walk on the track unless it's some like emergency personnel or something like that because something happened. The reason why is because the track gets prepped. It's very sticky, very sticky. So when the car goes to take off, their tires stick, giving them more traction, giving them faster times, giving them more control. When you just race your car on any regular asphalt, blacktop, concrete, whatever it may be, you're gonna start spinning. And now with the high rates of speed, the chances of you losing control, hurting yourself, wrecking your car, hurting other people, but people do lose their lives, you know? So going to a prep track is beneficial. But at the same time, a lot of street racers believe that going to a prep track is good, but that helps you. You know, the whole part of actually racing to see who's gonna win, not only who has the fastest car, but who's the better driver. Now, when you're at the track, literally all you have to do is go fast and go straight. When you're on the street, there's so many other disadvantages that you have to overcome and work with to have traction, to go down the road, if the road's a little bumpy, and that's why there's a big argument with left lane or right lane. There's so many different factors that matter. With the track, because it's organized, it's looked after, they try to make the lanes as safe as possible, as even as possible. There's still gonna be some differences, but you get the point. Now, the street race is like, okay, let's race, but I want you to do it. I don't want the track to help you. I want you to show your skills. Disadvantage for cars that race at the track compared to people at the street. When you race at the track, because the track is already prepped, when you go to launch, when you go to take off, there is no give. Your tires are gonna stick and you're gonna take off. A lot of times people, from that torque, they break axles, they blow transmissions. You can break so many parts because there is no give. When there's a lot of horsepower and your tires are sticking, things snap, things break. A lot of times you don't have to worry about that with the street. Another benefit in terms of street compared to track is the money. With street racing, a lot of people do it just for bragging points, but in order for you to beat me, if you really think you can, put some money on it. Put your money where your mouth is. At any given time, you can have a low dollar amount on the street for $100, $200, $400, $500. I've seen street races anywhere from $10, $20, $50,000. $50,000 race. And all you have to do is just win, and that money's yours. One and done, one and done. So the benefit is you can set something up, go to the street, wherever you designate it at, race, get your money, and get the hell on. With the track, you gotta pay for the entry fee. You gotta, you know what I mean, go through. There's a lot of little politics and stuff like that because a lot of times some tracks don't mind it. They call it grudge racing, you know what I mean? And you can have your little side bets and side money. But with a lot of tracks, they kind of shy against it because they see it as gambling. And now it's no longer for the love and joy of the hobby or of the sport. Now it's just about gambling, money, and what have you. You know, it kind of puts a sour taste in a lot of people's mouths. And some people don't want to see that, you know? So with street racing, a lot of times the money is bigger than at the track, okay? Now, when it comes to the police, the track is legal. Do whatever you want there. Bring your car, register it. They're going to look it over, make sure everything's safe, everything's good, and then have at it. Race all day if you like. No police. With the street, there is police. There's always a danger. And if you get caught, I mean, who knows, depending on where you're at. Your license is taken away. You might get hit with a felony for reckless driving, reckless endangerment. They might crush your car, impound it. I mean, who knows? But that also comes with the thrill of being a street racer. There's a lot of things and a lot of factors going against you. And you're okay with that. And you get in and get out. But are you willing to make that risk? Is it that serious? With the track, with the street, with the police, with the speed, with the cars, with all that, there's car crashes. There's most definitely crashes. At the track, if there's a crash, they have EMTs, they have paramedics, they have people that are trained, they have fire extinguishers, they have everything that you need if something goes wrong to keep you safe. On the street, it's just you, whoever you're racing against, and whatever people are spectating. And more than likely, when something happens, unless they're your really, really good friend, a lot of times people skedaddle and get the hell out of there because they don't want to be a part of the problem. They don't want to be liable for any type of damages. Anybody, they don't want somebody's death on their shoulders. They get out of there. So if something happens to you, how can you be so sure that you can get help, that you can get out of there and be able to wake up tomorrow the next day, or even just get out of there safe, At least with the track, if you crash, it's okay. It's okay. But here's a downfall with the track. Like I said, there's pros and cons with everything, but here's a downfall with the track. Let's say your car is too fast. You put all this money and time into it, you built it up just to go straight. You specifically built a race car. Well, if you built your car too fast, depending on when you shoot down that road and that time that comes up, if it's too fast, they'll kick you off the track. And you're thinking like, why would they do that? Is because there's so many different levels of which you can race, on which your car is okay. Because let's say, just random numbers. Let's say if you go between 80 to 100 miles an hour down the track, you're good, you're okay. Now let's say you go between 100 to 110. You might need some type of cage, some type of reinforcement. Let's say you go between 110 to 130. Now that cage that you need has to be fully reinforced, and you're gonna need a helmet and certain racing seats and you know what I mean? So there's levels to it. On the street, just bring what you got and race it. Because you don't have to worry about getting kicked out of anywhere. You built this car for a reason, for your joy, for your speed, not for anybody else's acknowledgement in terms of them saying what is and is not okay. But that's what happens with the track. Like I said, they deal with safety, but at the same time, there is restrictions to the safety on what you can do and get away with. Now, the thing with the track, you can race usually as many times as you need. Once you pay to get in, back and forth. The same way with street racing, but with a twist. You can race as many times as you want, but with street racing, you can race as many times as you want until that spot gets blue. If it's a blown spot, police are coming or whatever, you can get out of there and go to the next spot. Now that might seem like a headache, but that's part of the thrill. And it's a cat and mouse game. And every spot, wherever the locations are all gonna be different. It's all gonna be a different type of ground that you're gonna be racing on, But think about with each spot, you can have a $5,000 race at 9 o'clock, and later on at 10 or 10:30, you might have another $10,000 race at a different location. Remember, like I said, sometimes tracks, They don't really like to see all that. You know what I mean? It's just money going around, because a lot of times with money comes problem, arguments, fights, things like that. They don't want that type of behavior, that type of atmosphere at the track. Now, there is some races that tracks hold, which is called grudge racing. And it could be whoever's in your city or town that you have an issue with, put your money up, boom, they're okay for it. People come out, or they can have big events, a 32 car shootout, 64 car shootout, and it's all day, pretty much, you know what I mean? You can only lose twice or one and done, and the last car gets the pot. There's all kind of different races that are set up, but with street racing, you can literally make a lot of money that'll pay for that car that you spent tens of thousands, sometimes $100,000 to build. You can get it paid for. Might not be the most legal way, but it's all a choice that you have to make. You can pick any street if you have a good location. The thing though, which sucks, I can get to a whole nother topic, a lot of these tracks are shutting down. A lot of these tracks are not as well maintained. It's still better than the street, but not well maintained. So with that, in California, Southern California, we have Irwindale. And sometimes they have that up and running and they say, oh, it's gonna get sold, it's gonna get shut down. We had Fontana, that shut down. So Fontana Speedway is no longer. There's Sonoma, there's Kern, there's Apple Valley. There's so many different tracks, but depending on where you're at, what if you're not really that close to a track? What if the closest track to you is an hour and a half? When literally, when you want a street race, you can hop on any freeway, you can go to any location, set it up, and have it be done right then and there. And a lot of the street racing happens at night. And a lot of times the reason why it happens at night is because not only is there less people on the road, but a lot of these tracks are closed by then. So now what happens if I want to race? I have work tomorrow, but I want to get a race in tonight. It's 11:30. What am I gonna do, just sit around? No, I'm gonna take it to the street. Let's set it up, because the track might open at 8, 9, 10, whatever it may be. If I got work, I can't make it. I wanna make my money now, get it in, get out, go home. I'm gonna have to do like a part 2 on this more in depth, because there is street racing, drag races, there's road races, okay? Now even with the drag races, it could be a quarter mile or an eighth of a mile depending on the track. But what type of racing are you gonna do? I'm gonna get into that another time, but pretty much let me know from everything I said, what do you agree with, what do you disagree with, what was I maybe wrong about? Go ahead and leave it in the comment section. I read everything and I respond back to everything. Street racers will never get along with drag racers in terms of how they see things and even the way that they conduct their racing lifestyle. There is respect in a sense for one another, but like I said, the only time disrespect really happens is when innocent people get involved or get hurt, because you hear about things like that, crashes all the time. But for the most part, it's still part of the car community. It's still part of car culture. You get to pick what side you want to be on in terms of street racer, drag racer, show car, spectator, you know what I mean? It is what it is. But as long as you're safe, as long as the people around you are safe, you're not hurting anybody, more power to you. If you're causing destruction, things like that, no takeover stuff. Don't agree with that. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your opinions. If you haven't done so yet, please like and subscribe. Go ahead and support your boy. I'm gonna keep bringing more videos, different topics, more shows, more events, and things like that. And if you haven't done so yet, go to Instagram. My handle is Import Life Media. Give it a follow and see what I have going on behind the camera, behind the scenes, in my own personal life, things like that, all right? And even stuff on my Instagram, I'm posting that you're not gonna see on this channel. So don't miss out. Till next time, you guys, stay blessed. And thank you guys for tuning in. Appreciate y'all.